Hey there, Aries. Welcome back. Don't forget to click that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. If you're new here, my name is Ninja. I'll be your reader. Just know that this is an all Aries channel. This is what came out, guys. So let's see what we got here. Okay. Remember that this is a general reading, so it may or may not resonate with everybody. Huh. Now, Aries, with that devil and the page of coins energy coming out, somebody might be trying to tempt you in a relationship, get you stuck in a relationship, or they could be tempting you possibly like something to do with finances, okay? It could be like a get rich, scheme or something like that. Like, oh, we're going to do this and we're going to get rich fast or something like that. I would be cautious because with the moon energy and the six of coins, this person could be hiding some kind of motive here to get you stuck in that situation. It looks like this person could possibly be trying to, with the Knight of Wands and the Ace of Swords, possibly blowing smoke up your... You know what I'm about to say, right? Y'all know that saying, blow smoke up your you-know-what, right? Blowing smoke up your new you-know-what and possibly causing you to, like, get really excited. Like, yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to make all this money. That kind of energy. Getting you trapped in something. Getting you stuck in some kind of scheme, okay? Or it could be a scam as well, okay? Like, you don't even realize that you're going to be scamming people. That kind of thing. Like, selling something and this person knowing that the product doesn't work and you're going to be receiving, like, all this money for something that doesn't work, right? A scam. That kind of scam. Not the kind of scam like they do nowadays where people call people, which it could be. It could be, but it's very far-fetched. This is more of like a scheme of, we're gonna sell these products, but they don't work, and we're just gonna take people's money, kind of scheme, okay? Get you stuck in that. And I see this person is hiding some kind of motives here, especially when it comes to give and take. So I would be very cautious with this person, especially because of the way that they're hiding things. Now, with the moon energy, though, your intuition might be telling you, hey, be careful with this person. So do pay attention to that. But I do feel like this is also hidden motives. You could be dealing with the Capricorn. Pisces could possibly be, okay? I see Virgo. Maybe you're going to be dealing with a Virgo. Leo's on the table. Libra's on the table. Gemini's on the table. Okay. Doesn't have to be, but could be. Capricorn and Taurus also. Okay. So you're definitely being cautioned here not to allow somebody to tap into your emotions and like take over or take advantage of you here. You are being cautioned here, especially when it comes to extremes. Anything that is extreme, like a get rich quick type of scheme, you know what I mean? That is extreme, right? So anything that is extreme, be cautious with it. It looks like this person might be holding on really tightly here to things that you don't realize. It could be you, it could be money, it could be resources, but they're definitely hoarding something here. And I don't see this person as letting you know about this. I could see this person being stingy, really stingy with you. It might be the way that they come off, though. They're not going to let you see that part of them. So you're going to be thinking like you're getting half of everything, and in reality you might be getting like 25%, okay? Because I could see this person feeling like they deserve more than you because they're bringing you into the picture, that kind of thing, I see this person being very secretive. So there's going to be a lot of secrets that this person's not going to tell you about. I see this person being like holding back information from you, not telling you the full story about things, And I see this person being very, I want to say materialistic, okay? This is going to be a very materialistic person. So they're going to put objects and wealth, money above you. The reason why I'm telling you this is because it looks like this person's going to try to trap you into a relationship. So this way your judgment will be fogged. You know what I mean? With the devil energy and the page of coins energy, it looks like this person's going to try to like push this relationship into a romantic type of relationship. So you won't be able to see the full picture. So you'll be more emotional, and that's why this person's going to want to really tap into your emotions and make sure that you feel that connection with them. You know what I mean? But it's more of them using this to like cloud your judgment. You know what I mean? It's kind of like this person wants you to get deep into this. Really, really deep. This way, you see here with the Eight of Cups and the Four of Swords, this way it's gonna end up causing you to have a very difficult time to try to get away. In other words, you would have to like mentally take a break from this person, and this person's not going to let you. This person is going to be in your face constantly, because as long as they're in your face, you won't have time to process things. And this is a tactic that a lot of scammers use. This is also a tactic that a lot of narcissists and sociopaths, psychopaths use. They stay in your face so you won't have time to like process things, think clearly, think objectively. They stay in your face and keep talking to you. This way you don't even realize that you're being in, manipulated. You know what I mean? Like you won't even realize what's going on because they're constantly going to be interacting with you. So in other words, throwing as much information about them. See what I'm saying? Like throwing so much information about them in your face. This way you never have really time to process things. So even if you see red flags, right? So let's say you see some red flags, you'll dismiss them quickly because more things are happening. They're going to constantly be in your face, distracting you with something else, so you never have time to really focus, right? See right here, it looks like, you would need time to process. You're going to need time to take a break from this person, but they're not going to let you. You know what I'm saying? Because I see over here, we have the Nine of Swords over here and the Strength card coming out over here, right? It's like this person's going to trap you. So you won't know. So your head will be spinning. You won't be able to sleep. You won't understand why you can't sleep. Because it'll be so much going on at one time. Too much going on at one time. You know what I'm saying? Now, don't get me wrong. You're not going to stay stuck too long. Okay? And I'm telling you this way, in this manner, because for some of you, this is a future reading. Okay? And for some of you, this is something that you've already gone through. Where you woke up. You realized, you know what I mean? Like, you saw what was going on here. Like, you know what I'm saying? You realized that you had to get away from that person. And I'm talking to you who this is in your past. This is something that you already went through, okay? And it looks like, yeah, it was hard though. It wasn't easy. This was a long road to get here. And I'm telling you this way, guys, so for you who hasn't gone through this, in the future, so you'll know, this is going to be something that you're going to get trapped in, and it's going to be a long road. It's not going to be something that's going to be really easy to get out of. This is actually going to be something that, like, you being forced into making a decision. Not really you wanting to make a decision, but you being forced into it because things are going to get so bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, things are going to get so bad that you're not going to have a choice, right? Because this person is going to surround you. It's like a snake, they're going to slither around you, squeeze slowly so you won't even realize what's going on. It's giving me the energy of what is it, crabs or frogs when you're boiling them? I think it's crabs, I'm not sure, but let me know in the comment section. When you're boiling them, they say you have to like turn the heat up really slowly. Put them in when it's lukewarm, right? And that's what this person's going to do. They're going to bring you in when it's lukewarm and then slowly start turning up the heat on you. So slowly that you're not even going to realize where you're heading. Because they're going to be trying to, like, I don't want to say romanticizing you, but put you into a, quote, relationship with them. So you won't be able to differentiate between business and the relationship. Because the two are going to intertwine. And they're going to be constantly in your face, right? Anyways, it's basically you're going to be forced. Like, you're going to be forced to get out of that situation, okay? And it's going to be because of circumstances that are happening around you that it's like it's going to show you the truth. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to see the truth, but it's going to be such a hard truth to accept that this person could do that to you. This is why you're going to have to take the blindfolds off. See, with the two of swords in reverse, you're going to be forced into that. Okay. Now, for you who this is a past reading for, then you were forced into it. It wasn't easy. That person made it extremely hard, and they did it on purpose because it was a trap. You know what I mean? They trapped you in. It was a huge web that you got stuck in. Now, for you who this is a past reading about, um, this person didn't just pick you out of the blue. This person sat back and watched you for a while. They chose you wisely for a reason. And it's because of how you are as a person. They saw you as the perfect partner to get this done because of how you execute your energy, you know? They love that about you. So you get really excited about things, you know, especially when you see that there's an end game to this, you know, like you could see the progress that this could have made, right? The way that you are, the way that you execute your confidence and you get things done. You're a doer, you know, you're a go-getter. That's why they picked you. Is because they saw that in you. They saw that you were very ambitious. They saw that you were very, you know, courageous. You just go out there and get it done, you know? You're a go-getter, you know? And that's why this person chose you because they wanted you to be a go-getter because you were going to put money in their pocket, you know? That's what it was all about. So if you're a guy, you're a hustler, okay? If you're a girl, you're a diva. You know, you go and you put your all into everything. That's what they wanted. They wanted that energy because that energy, they could feed off of that energy. You know what I mean? Like they could bounce that energy from you because of the way that you are. It makes them want to step up and be like you. So they would see how you would get going and how you would just like be pushing forward, and it would make them like, okay, this is how I do it. This is how you do it. This is how you become a go-getter. This is how you become courageous. This is how. So they would just mimic off of you. You know what I mean? This is why they chose you. They didn't just pick you out of the blue. You know what I mean? It wasn't just by chance. No, it was because they studied you. They saw you. They realized what you brought to the table, and that's why they wanted you. Okay? And boy, did they put you through the ringer here. I'm seeing here like you stayed up late at night trying to figure things out. It was a hard process to go through. You were overwhelmed, you know, and they weren't going to let you have any time. So it was like, so if you fell asleep, I'm hearing like you would fall asleep and then they would wake you up like 4 hours later because they didn't want you to have time to rest and think clearly, you know, or they would let you have like maybe 6 hours of sleep and you're used to having 8 or 9, right? Something like that. And this person was like constantly doing this because they didn't want you to process, you know, because if you process things, then you would start figuring things out, especially that you were only getting like 25% of the profits or something like that, or 10%, right? You would start putting two and two together. And that's one thing they did not want you to do. Okay. But you wisened up real quick. It was like once you saw the writing on the wall, though, boom, you went into action. But what I'm also seeing here is that it took its toll on you. It wasn't something that you just bounced back from really quickly. So what I'm hearing is that this person really did a number on you to the point where even when you got away from this person, what they did to you was still affecting you, and it still was affecting the relationships that you had around you because it made you not trust people. You know, it made you question everybody. In other words, it's like once you experience a person like this that can be this toxic and this conniving, once you have met that person and dealt with them up front, up close, it changes you. It changes the way that you see people because you realize that people have that darker side. And once you see it, you can't unsee it, you know? But the good thing about you is that you're a fighter, you know? So you did get out of it. You might have even had a relationship afterwards. You know, an okay relationship. I don't know if you're still with that person or not. I'm not going to get deeper into that, but you know, you still had a relationship after that. So And that might be for one of you, not all of you, okay? For some of you, you didn't have another relationship and you went on and did other things for yourself. Maybe you even had people who wanted to get in a relationship with you, but you rejected them, okay? And that might be for some of you. You rejected it. You didn't want nothing to do with it. It was because you were building something up for yourself here. You know, you are a very courageous person, very strong minded person. And you know what? I'm going to tell you something. That's what saved you here. Being a strong minded person actually saved you. And you know what else I'm hearing here? If you had stayed, there's a good chance that you would have got yourself into some kind of trouble. Or if this is not like you getting yourself locked up, you know, for scamming people or something, this could be like you going to a lot like more severe mental issues, okay? Like your mental health would have went down really badly, okay? To the point where maybe you might have had to start seeing a therapist, or maybe you might have needed to get on medication or things like that. And for those of you who this is a future reading for, then learn from this. You know, as soon as you hear something that sounds too good to be true, question it, check into it. I'm not saying that, you know, things can't be possible. I'm just saying that be very selective about where you're putting your energy and who you're allowing into your energy, especially when you're dealing with the devil, okay? But how do you know, right? Because this person was very charming, you know, and this person's going to be very handsome and good looking and persuasive and tell you all the things you want to hear, you know, paint a beautiful picture that a lot of people, you know, they get tempted into that world. You know what I mean? I think we all have at some point, you know, to a degree, you know what I'm saying? But not all of us has dealt with a scammer like this that pulled you into something here, okay? But anyways, use your own discernment. That's for sure. Let's go ahead and see what your angel numbers are. I think this is a warning and this is confirmation for somebody here that they did the right thing. Let's see. 77 came out. It says it is time. Yeah, exactly. It is time to move on from the old patterns, habits, and fears. I think this person did put a lot of fears into you, and that's why that came out. It says, now is the time to walk in the direction of your biggest desires and ambitions. Now is the time to be bold and brave. I am brave. So do put that in the comment section. I am brave. And you are brave. I was just saying that. That's just more confirmation. Give us one more angel number here for Aries, please and thank you. And let's see what else comes out for you here. I think this person has really affected you, you know, where you are, like, when it comes to romance, is this the card? You know, when it comes to romance or getting really close to people, you might not want to, you know, mingle too much or something, you know what I mean? Because it looks like you've had people interested in you and you totally rejected them without even getting to know them or, you know, even looking at the possibilities. It's like you completely rejected them. You went your own way, you know what I mean? And that's for some of you. It says number 3, it says, expression comes naturally to you. You are very skilled at communicating your thoughts through conversation and creative pursuits. You are able to get others on board with your ideas. I am charismatic. I do feel very strongly this is why this person picked you, because you are charismatic. See, this is confirmation. This is why this person wanted you as a partner, romantically, business wise. This is why they wanted you, because you have this in you where you can get people on board with what you're doing. You would be really good in sales, you know? Maybe you have worked in sales. I could see you being really good at sales, especially with your confidence, you know, and your looks. Yeah, I could see you doing that, you know? I am charismatic. So put that in the comment section. I am brave. I am charismatic. Okay. And guys, I know I keep saying it. I'm going to say it again. Make sure you are preparing. Father's Day, Mother's Day is around the corner. They're going to be having some big sales. I'm anticipating some really good sales. Okay. Fishing gear. That's one thing that's coming to mind. I don't know why it keeps coming to my mind, but fishing gear, possibly pew pews. Maybe I don't know. Anything for hunting would be going on sale. Gardening things would be going on sale. Solar panels. What else? Battery packs. Power stations, generators, those kind of things were going to be going on sale. I suspect you're going to be getting some good deals. If you're needing a lawnmower, those kinds of things also go on sale during Father's Day. You know what I mean? Like lawnmowers, lawn care, gardening things, barbecue pits. Because, if your electricity goes out and you have a barbecue pit, hey, you can go ahead and just have a barbecue. You know what I mean? It's a way of cooking. Also, getting a propane stove. They have these propane stoves. I actually got one, and mine is I got a double. I think mine's a double. I haven't used it yet. I got a double burner, I think, or a six burner. Not sure. I haven't opened it yet. I haven't had a reason to use it yet. But it's the kind that you plug into the propane tank itself, right? It comes with the cord and everything. I actually have one because I also have a Mr. Buddy. Oh, that's another thing. You should buy these things out of season. Right now, things are getting hot, right? I have a propane Mr. Buddy just in case electricity goes out, so we'll have some heat. Um, but of course, you need to crack open a window, have some kind of ventilation. I just want to throw that out there. You can't just have a propane stove or a propane heater on and be in an enclosed area. You need ventilation, okay? But anyways, with that being said, this coming up, this Mother's Day, Father's Day, I suspect those are going to be really cheap. So, especially if you live up north where it snows a lot, we get snow too where I'm at. We get snow pretty much every winter, um, but not very heavy. I think the most snow we've ever had was like about 14 inches one time, and it only lasted a day. So where I'm at, we do get snow, but not that bad. Okay, that was like the most snow we ever had so far that I've seen. Normally, we get like maybe an inch or two, and then the sun comes up and it starts to melt. So, but if you're up north, like in Chicago or Maine or those kind of areas, yeah, you might want to pick a couple of them up. Okay. Also, tents are going. That would be a good time to pick up a tent. I have seen online where people were using tents and getting inside the tent and putting a tent and then a smaller tent inside a tent, right? Covering it with a blanket, and they said just their body heat alone was keeping them nice and warm in there. So that's a thought, that's something to think about. But yeah, tents, camping gears, things like that would be going on sale on Father's Day. So do keep your eyes open for it. Do prepare for it, because the more of us that are prepared for these kinds of emergencies, the better off we're all going to be, right? Yeah. All right, guys. Love you guys. Love your support. Do comment. It does help the channel grow. Y'all take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye bye.